We are live 364 days a year. What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I've told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How do you not get sushi after Monday Night Raw?
Welcome to Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. A show where a rotating cast of wrestling fans from around the world come and share and debate their opinions, with live comments from all of you shown throughout. As after all, fans are what makes wrestling so special. So sit back, grab a beverage, and enjoy the show. Good evening, wrestling fans. My name is Ben Allison, and you are watching the Wrestling Republic daily broadcast, or at least usually I say good evening. Today, despite it being the Royal Rumble, despite it being a fantastic show in my opinion, it's not a good evening, because AJ Styles has retired. After a few-week storyline, which, let's face it, wasn't even that good, one of the greatest of all time has retired in the shadow of John Cena's retirement. I am fuming about it. I did a live stream, it's been an hour, in fact it's been over an hour, and I'm still fuming, absolutely fuming. But I'm going to try and get over it. I'm going to try and take a deep breath and review this show as unbiased as I possibly can. But I'm going to be honest, I'm going to struggle to do that a little bit. We got Ace saying they say he's going to go to TNA. Hopefully he does. Even at EW, Tony Khan, call him up, please. I would be delighted. Brie Bella is back. Shout out to you, Alex. And shout out to David as well, shouting out. And you, of course, who was live throughout. We appreciate you and you. But also joining us today, we have Clark Taylor and also Desmond as well. And we are going to be reviewing this show segment by segment, layer by layer. And let's kick things off, guys, out of the gates with this women's Royal Rumble match, because the winner of the 2026 Royal Rumble is Liv Morgan, and I am so happy for her. Going into this match, I said it was either going to be Bianca Belair or Liv Morgan. It was so obvious from the start it was going to be one of the two. But Bianca Belair still injured, unfortunately, and that absolutely sucks for her. It really, really does. But Liv Morgan, she deserves this moment. She's going on to WrestleMania. She eliminated Raquel Rodriguez, turning on her. The Judgment Day is in pieces. They are shattered. And therefore, I do believe Raquel is going to win the World Women's Championship off of Stephanie Vaquer. WrestleMania, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. But Clark Taylor, I want your thoughts on the opening match to this year's Royal Rumble.
I mean, I said it while we were watching, and I still believe it. I think it's at least top 3 favorite women's Rumble I've ever seen. Maybe top 2. 2021, once we started to really discuss it, comes to mind, but I think it might be the best one, other than maybe when you got some crowd shots and it felt a little bit like the Intuit Dome during Money in the Bank. And that's the only complaint I had. The match was booked perfect, and Liv Morgan was the rightful winner. That's who I predicted, and I think she deserves it. I love what we're going to see, the dynamic between her and Raquel with that elimination and everything throughout. I am a huge fan of this year's Women's Rumble. I'll go as far as saying, yeah, I guess I thought out loud there for a bit. It's my number 1 all time.
Best Rumble?
Women's.
Best Women's Rumble. Okay, all right, fair enough. And there have been some good ones, but you are right. Something which was quite interesting about this one, especially compared to other of the Women's Royal Rumbles, is I do think there were a lot less surprises. We mentioned Brie Bella. She was really the only big surprise in this Rumble. But Rumbles aren't just about surprises. They truly aren't. And in this case, this showed that you can do a great Rumble without having to have top surprises. But Des, I want to get your thoughts. What were your thoughts on the Women's Rumble?
I thought it was really good. I also want to say I also love the NXT representation. Sol Ruka, man, she is absolutely phenomenal. You want a hot take? Here it is. Sol Ruka is going to be on the same tier as the Charlotte Flairs, Becky Lynch's, Bayley's, and Sasha Banks of the world. She is that damn good, and you can see the amount of confidence that WWE has in her. She already wrestled for John Cena's retirement show on Saturday night's main event. She was in the Rumble for 40 plus minutes. Being in the final 3 for that being her debut is insane.
It absolutely is a big statement for her out of the gates, making sure that she's going to go down as a big star on this main roster. I mean, Clark, you've been following Sol Ruca now on NXT every week, reviewing that show. I mean, do you think now could be the time for her to actually step up and join the main roster, or does she still have more to do in NXT?
You know, truthfully, like for a long time, I've thought Sol was ready. And I think NXT has become, it's always been a unique product in general, right? And I don't want to like zoom out too far, but the way I view it now, there's certain people that need more time in NXT. There's certain people that fit star power in NXT, and Sol has had her fair share of that. But I think Sol has done enough at this stage that it's sort of time. It's interesting. We had a conversation earlier in the week, Ben, you and I, about Trick Williams. Right. And like, wait a minute, now they threw him to the deep end, right? And it worked. And I think what we saw from Sol Ruca tonight, there's sort of shades of that where sometimes that works, right? Just make the big leap. It's time to make the jump. And I think based on this Rumble performance, that would be the route that I would go.
There we are then. Well, we'll have to wait and see what they do. We got Fernando in the chat saying, what's up,
Fernando?
Wrestling Republic crew? Shout out to you, Fernando. We got Alex, who's still heartbroken about AJ Styles. Trust me, I am as well. And in fact, I mean, we will get onto that in just a second, but Liv and Roman going for world championships, that is absolutely seemingly the direction. But I do want to ask both of you guys now, but if you had to make a prediction, Liv Morgan, what title is she going to go for? Is she going to go for the World Heavyweight Championship, whether Raquel wins it or not? Or could she go over to Friday Night SmackDown and challenge for the World Championship over there? Des, I'll ask you first.
All right, I'm going to hit the fastball and say Women's World Championship.
I mean, you have to believe that probably is the most likely one. But Clark, what about you?
Yeah, based on the interaction with Raquel, I think it's almost guaranteed. I totally believe that she wins that title on Monday night in Philadelphia in a street fight. It's deserved for Raquel. And I want the best for Stephanie Vauquer coming out of this. So my hope is that street fight is absolutely what we're talking about all week after Raquel wins the title.
Yeah.
The pressure's kind of on both. Here.
It's on massively. It's on Raquel massively too. Because
yeah, it's on Raquel. It's on Stephanie. And then, but the story we can tell with Liv, and the key is going to be how Vauquer looks coming out of it.
Yeah.
And then where we can place her from there.
Actually, to be honest with you, I'm more fussed about how actually Raquel comes out looking after it after she wins the World Championship, because we now are in a position where I think it is quite obvious that the Judgment Day are going to split up and the heels are going to be Liv and Dom. But then how are you going to get for fans to root for Raquel Rodriguez when she is a world champion, when they've been told to boo her for the past 18 months? I think they've now boxed themselves into a corner, which is going to be quite difficult, especially when Liv Morgan's popular as well. I mean, to be honest with you, I think I might have almost had Raquel eliminate Liv here. Then after the match, take her out brutally, Raquel win the title on Monday Night Raw, and then have Liv Morgan as the babyface going into WrestleMania.
You know, I think that makes a lot of sense. And in a weird way, I'm not sure it's impossible to pull a double flip. Like off the top
I think
of my
now
head.
it would be tough.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, though, that you couldn't somehow do it if you needed to, only because Raquel is so physically imposing and it's so can be so dominant that, like, on a dime, I mean, she caught a flying human being in the middle of the match, just in midair, and then redirected her.
Yeah.
In one motion. That was like one of the most athletic things I've seen in Rumble history. It was crazy. It was just like, oh no, actually you're going this way.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a great showing, another great showing for Raquel Rodriguez. There is no doubt about it. Alex is glad that Liv won. Bobby liked the video. Shout out to you, Bobby. Thank you so much. Fernando agrees with Clark's sentiment that this was the best Women's Royal Rumble ever. And Bobby thinks Sol Ruca is a future Women's Royal Rumble winner. I mean, look, I have to agree with you there, Bobby. But up next, guys, let's talk about AJ Styles. Let's talk about Gunther, because I told the story earlier. I'll quickly do it again. 2016, May 2016, right? Nearly 10 years ago now, I made an Instagram page about wrestling, and I was stuck on what to call it, and I decided to name it after my favorite wrestler, AJ Styles. I named the page WWE Styles Fan. A few months later, I renamed it Wrestling Republic. But look, ultimately, we started as a Wrestling Republic fan page, as a AJ Styles fan page. Wrestling Republic started as an AJ Styles fan page. So this one hurt. And I'm not going to lie, I think the way they did this was disrespectful. I really do. I think AJ Styles deserved a much better storyline. This storyline I thought was rushed. I think if they knew he had to retire now, they should have started a better storyline for him months ago. But to have him retire against Gunther just over a month after Gunther retired John Cena, people are going to forget about AJ Styles retiring here. They really are. I mean, share the wealth a little bit. Let somebody else get this opportunity. But the real headline after I went off stream was that AJ Styles went to put his gloves down. They touched the fingers, touched the mat, and he lifted them back up. He put them back on his hands. In the words of the Wolf of Wall Street, he ain't effing leaving. Look, he's done in the WWE, but I don't think he's done in wrestling. Previously said he'd retire in WWE. Based on that, I think he's taking that back now. He's seen the disrespect that WWE have shown to him for his final match, and he said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave here. And I don't think he's going TNA. I know a lot of people want to see that, and I'd like to see it as well. I wouldn't hate that at all. Be huge for TNA. I think he's going to AEW. And Will Ospreay and Mercedes Moné, the minute this match finished, Will Ospreay tweeted phenomenal, which you could just say is, a bit of a tribute. Mercedes Moné said, I hope the rumors are true. Money bag, fingers crossed emoji. I think AJ Styles is going to AEW. I think Tony Khan has put the phone down on Joe Willock as he's trying to sign him for Fulham Football Club. They love to sign the Arsenal Hale Enders. But I think then he's picked his other phone up and called AJ Styles. I think we are getting a proper AJ Styles retirement tour. He's going to show WWE how they should have booked John Cena's. We're getting Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland, Hangman Adam Page, Kenny Omega, and I am going to love it. Please, please, please tell me that's the case, because this retirement did not do AJ Styles justice in the slightest, Clark.
Am I like in a simulation? I feel like I know a guy that's been saying the same thing for 2 weeks before. I want to make this clear. That I said this long before Ben said it. I sang a whole happening song. I'll see you in September about it. Bye-bye, so long, farewell. I sang the song. I can't even sing. You can hear my voice. I can't sing a lick. I'm the worst at karaoke night. But I'll tell you what, AJ Styles is headed to AEW in September, and I called it. You heard it here first, and you know you did. But the net of it is, it's the best thing ever, because just like Ben said, Will Ospreay, the list, Kenny Omega, Takeshita, the list of matchups goes on and on. Monet's saying it. Mercedes Moné, she's hinting at it at least. Saying it, hinting at it, could be anything. I don't know. But I love everything about this. And he picked up the gloves. Not enough. And you know what my favorite part about the match is? Give me a second here. You know what my favorite part about the match is? He put it in the face of everybody that said that the John Cena booking was beautiful with Gunther, and did what the actual finish should have been, and went out on his shield and just passed out and didn't tap out like a little B word like Gunther called him the whole time. That's my favorite part. AJ did it his way. They handed Goldberg a microphone post Gunther, and then they wrapped him up in 2 seconds, cut the interview off. AJ didn't want a mic. He didn't want a little pity party. He didn't want to do smiles and facial expressions while they showed a career montage. None of that. You know why? because he's going straight to Jacksonville to wrestle the retirement tour that he deserves. And you heard it here first, but now me and Ben are on the same team, so it's even better.
Okay, Clark, you know what? You might want to record this. You can save it as your ringtone. Clark Taylor was right. For once, I was wrong. He was right. Typically, AJ Styles hasn't lied, and I don't think he deliberately lied here when he said he was retiring WWE. I think this was the case of WWE screwed him a bit. He wasn't happy with how he went out. He could tell fans wanted a bit more, and he decided, hey, I'm going to go to Jacksonville, and I'm going to have a retirement run there. But Clark, you are still wrong about one thing.
What's that?
I don't think we gotta wait till September.
Oh, it could be earlier.
I think we are going to see this in the next couple of months. I think after the next pay-per-view, whenever it is, AJ Styles is going to show up and we are going to have a retirement year. WWE Triple H, take note. They write it all down. They'll take some notes about how to book a retirement tour. And we got a few comments here. We got Tyler saying, as much as I loved him in AEW, I think it'll be a TNA run, sadly. To be honest, as long as it's something, I don't mind, but something better, please. DCX Warlord with a great point. He was originally meant to be on the debut episode of AEW Dynamite with the Good Brothers. They'd written the episode, and AJ signed a new deal. Game with T says it was a sad moment, but it was a full circle moment. Karen says, let's do AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe, run it back. Absolutely. Bobby Batito, Bandito, yes please. I'll have a slice of that and then I'll ask for some seconds. Alex wants me to watch Randy Orton versus John Cena. Comment it and get some likes on those, and if it does get the most likes, I will definitely check it out. Karen wants to see Styles versus MJF. Again, yes please. Swerve, Hangman, Omega, let's do it. Would WWE give him this send-off if he's off to AEW, says Cool. Here's the thing, I absolutely think they would. Why? Because, yeah, it wasn't a good send-off. Second, on the Royal Rumble, a few-week storyline, they basically gave him John Cena's sloppy seconds. It was a disgrace. It truly was.
The only difference is he booked the match better because he wrestled it and he got the finish right.
Yeah, that is true. It. DCX Warlord throwing out some more suggestions there as well. AJ Okada once again. I mean, look, the possibilities are endless. I'm excited, but it needs to happen. Tony Khan, get some money on the table. He's been doing a free agent signing spree so far in 2026. End it with the biggest free agent of them all, the phenomenal one, the greatest of all time in my eyes, AJ Styles. Des, what did you think about this match?
I think you need to get in the ring right now and cut a promo. I mean, my goodness, the amount of energy we're going there. But I do want to say, I want to give a quick 5 seconds of silence for AJ Styles, who is no longer in WWE, has been retired. And with that said, there's mourning Woods going on, right? Xavier Woods, he was mourning the tag division. And seeing all the optimism, I hate to be the guy of bad news. I just don't see it, guys. I really don't see it. I think there's a possibility it goes to AEW, but it would not be right for me to give you guys hope if I don't believe it. They always say the worst thing you can have is hopes, because then once it doesn't happen, it will never be the same. I honestly think he's going to go to TNA. They had the run through between him and Santana, between Frankie Kazarian. Going to AEW, though, would be fantastic, but I just got to be honest, man. I don't want to be heartbroken and I don't want to be disappointed later on in the year. So I think he will go to TNA, unfortunately.
I mean, look, I could see TNA. I definitely could. I'm not going to say right now that, it won't happen.
I mean, let me talk about this for a second here. So, Des, you're telling me after what you witnessed tonight at the Royal Rumble, you think he's going to go to TKO-NA? Seriously?
Yeah.
TKO-NA. You actually, what?
I think he is.
Des.
I got to say, guys, the
Des.
same, when you're talking about
he's going to go to TKO-NA
is the same reason people said Jericho's going to the Rumble. It's just high optimism. The expectations are too high.
Come on.
I got to be honest, man.
No. So you're saying he's dissatisfied with his retirement tour and he's going to be like, right, but re-sign me for the minors.
I feel like he'll go TNA because that's the place where he
that's
started
the hottest take of your life.
Who will he wrestle there other than Leon Slater and Frankie Kazarian?
And Mike Santana.
Honestly, it makes a heck of a lot more sense of why he said he didn't want to do it.
I would rather see AEW. I'm just being honest with you guys. I don't see it. That's the only thing. There's a possibility that it could happen, but there's also a possibility that I could wake up a millionaire tomorrow. It ain't gonna happen. I just gotta keep it 100 with you.
You could enter the lottery, in which case there's a chance. Here's the thing. I mean, look, if this was a lottery, I think there's probably about 5 million tickets, and AJ Styles has bought 3 million of them, because I do think there's a higher chance of him going to AEW than not going to AEW. I really do. I think the odds are in his favor. I think TNA's an option too. I truly do. But here's the thing. We saw that glove spot. He did not put those gloves down. He thought about it and he tucked them back and he kept going back. And I'm going to be honest, the way in which it was done, I think he went into business for himself.
Wait,
which is something AJ Styles refused.
I think that was part of the plan.
I don't think that was a plan.
AJ in Atlanta in his retirement match in AEW, and it's going to be beautiful. But that is not what
in Atlanta.
Because, by the way, they probably offered him the mic and he said no. That was the most fascinating part to me. You would give AJ Styles a microphone no matter what. And I bet AJ said nah. Now, you tried to give it to Cena. I get that. But they did all the kit and caboodle. I guarantee you he was asked, do you want the mic? Do you want to talk? Whatever it may be. And said, nah, I'll put the gloves down, go out that way. And then he picked him up, just like Ben said. He picked him up. And that is a big sign. Because you leave him if you mean it.
Do you know what I'm kind of bothered by? Look, I don't know if this is my place to say it or not, but I'm going to say it. AJ Styles, I'm sorry if you think this is wrong or whatever. I really do. I think it's really, really disrespectful they didn't allow him to retire, at least from WWE, in front of his own family. I think when AJ Styles has been a family man for so many years, he's taken his kids to so many of his shows. The fact that obviously his family's big, he couldn't have flown them all out easily. It would have been an absolute hassle. I think the fact that he wasn't allowed to do that when he is a family man, that's what he cares about more than anything. He cares a lot more about them than wrestling. That really is what, as a lifelong AJ Styles fan, that's what's really bugged me about this thing. That's why I didn't think he was going to retire today. But the thing is, going into today, I thought he'd retire in WWE. That's where I was wrong. I got it wrong because I got it wrong that he was retiring in WWE. He's going to AEW or TNA. I'm absolutely certain of it. Fernando, like he said earlier on, only watched TNA because of AJ Styles and DCX Waller team. Watch Collision tonight. Ciampa and the Rascals. I'm going to be honest, DCX. I'm going to. I mean, I was going to anyway, but I'm going to extra. And I just become a little bit annoyed. But I was always going to anyway. But anyway, let's now move on to McIntyre versus Sami Zayn, shall we? Because Drew McIntyre is still the WWE champion. And I'm going to be honest, I feel a little bit bad for these two right now because they were put in a real dead spot on this card. They couldn't really do any right here at all because the crowd was dead at the start. And you wanted them to be behind Sami Zayn heavily, but they were dead because they just saw one of the GOATs be retired. And that's why you never put a retirement match second on a card. You just don't, because you know whatever the next match are going to be dead for, and it's a 4-match card. You can't be dead for the WWE Championship match. It did not work at all. And I think the aim WWE had for this match was they wanted fans to get really behind Sami Zayn and for then all the hopes to come crashing down and for them to be absolutely gutted. So next year, WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia, Sami Zayn can win the title in the main event. I think that's the plan. The fact is, today's execution did not go to plan at all, purely because he was not really, he didn't get super over because they were all so gutted. I mean, it sucks. I mean, I still think next year he'll be a huge star when he goes over there to win again, but I felt bad for Sami and Drew. They deserve better, a good match, but let's be real. I mean, even I, to be brutally honest, wasn't fully paying attention, Clark, because you saw me. Me and Clark were on a call, and me and Des were too. Yeah. I was genuinely distraught, guys.
Truthfully, I would have flipped the booking personally because I think that's the only way you could have uplifted the crowd. And let me preface that with saying I would do that outside of the context of the storyline between Sami and Drew. That's the only way you could have saved the result of the AJ Gunther match, is by potentially putting Sami over in some way and heating the crowd back up. Now, then there's pressure headed into the men's rumble. Card placement here did nobody any favors. And I predicted long ago, I said, if it was me, listen, we have the Saudi Arabia Royal Rumble. We also have Mania next year. And I said, Sami Zayn is as over as anybody, cutting promos in Arabic, the passion, the fans adore him there. Adore him there. If you're going to pull the trigger on a Sami title victory, the time to do it, I thought, was actually today. That was my belief all along. That wasn't the result. I kind of get that, but it also weirdly, until we got the big pyro for Oba, which we're going to get to later, it continued to simmer the show down in some ways. And I wish that it helped Sami in the way it should have. And part of me feels like maybe I'm a bit jaded because I thought it could go either way. You're either going to, do the Cody losing at 39 type thing to Roman or something else. But in this case, I just, card placement hurt this so badly. So badly.
It absolutely did. You are right. And we got a few comments about it. Sure. I mean, we've got Alex saying it was kind of boring. And I think part of that was because the crowd were out of it and all of that. But Fernando saying Drew is going to Mania as champion. I don't think so, but we'll talk about that in the next topic. But Des, I want to get your thoughts on this championship match. Drew McIntyre is still the WWE World Champion.
I will say, after Saturday Night Main Event, a lot of people were on board with the idea of Sami Zayn winning the WWE Championship and Royal Rumble, of course, with the hometown ties and all that. And I would also be on board with it, but I just feel like it's because Drew just won. You know what I mean? I feel like it would be kind of a slap in the face if Drew McIntyre just won, and then they're all going to be like, oh, well, Drew only won a championship because people were sick of Cody, and that's it. So I like the idea that Drew gets to hold it on a little bit longer. I mean, the guy's put in so much work. So has Sami, too, not to discredit anything he's done. But I do feel like the stories there next year, especially with WrestleMania being in Saudi Arabia. So if they want to go that route, they can. And I feel like it tells more of a story where I don't want to compare him to Cody Rhodes, but it's kind of like a finish the story type narrative where, Cody lost to Roman Reigns and then, he can't be Drew McIntyre, right? And then he finds his way, wins the championship that's halted his career the entire time while being in WWE. But I'm really happy Drew won. And I think the seeds are planted between Drew, Fatu, and Cody. I don't know where that's going to happen, but I do believe that's the next direction.
Well, I'm sure we'll talk about that in a minute's time as well when we talk about the men's Royal Rumble match. But yeah, I mean, Sami Zayn, to your point, finish his story. One of his stories got ended tonight, one of his records. The fact that he's never lost in Saudi Arabia, he now has. He lost. And I like that. I really do, because it makes him a bigger babyface for next year.
And he's defeated upon the length of his career against Drew McIntyre. Never won. Yeah, not even the once.
McIntyre needs to win the title back again next year now, just so they can have Sami.
Like, you want to talk about streaks and whatnot? That's ridiculous.
12, I know. It really is.
That is a large number.
It is rough. There's no doubt about it. I mean, look, Sami Zayn, this is the one thing I will say. I think the hate Sami Zayn gets is so unjustified. And I really, really want him to get this moment next year at WrestleMania. I really do. He deserves that moment next year, which is why this makes it a bit more gutting. That this didn't really hit us hard, because this was meant to be rock bottom. This was meant to be the thing which really made you feel for him as a babyface. And it didn't do that because we were too busy feeling sad about AJ Styles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
It's infuriating. It really, really is. Tyler says, back to the Styles thing for a second. They said AJ Styles is retired from WWE on the post show. So yeah, they changed the phrasing. Last week they changed the phrasing. I genuinely believe, and I've watched AJ Styles for a long time, when he is annoyed professionally, he is not going to go into an interview setting. He's not going to go into business for himself, take a mic and bury anyone. He is not going to do that because he has a level of respect and professionalism about him, and that's why I really like him. But the fact of the matter is this. I do think that glove spot was him going into business for himself, but respectfully doing it. Like, hey, I'm not done, but I'm done here. Thank you very much. Very respectful, very thoughtful.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, at the same time, being like,
I brought the appetizer, but I'm going to take the tray home.
Exactly.
Yeah, at a dinner party.
But up next, guys. Roman Reigns has won the 2026 Royal Rumble. He is going to WrestleMania. And wow, Let's kick things off actually talking about the start of this match, because the start of this Rumble was unbelievable. We kicked things off with Obafemi and Bron Breakker. I was licking my lips. I was thinking to myself, this is a future WrestleMania main event. Come early, but not so fast, my friend, because a masked man took out Bron Breakker, rolled him into the ring, and then Obafemi eliminated him. And I've been very critical about WWE's creative over the past 6 to 9 months. Well, guess what? This was excellent storytelling, because now the obvious suspect is Seth Rollins. But Bron Breakker, in kayfabe, in the back of his head, is going to go, maybe it was Theory. They're going to be in a backstage area, and Bron Breakker's not going to trust Theory, and Paul Heyman's trying to smooth things over. Logan Paul's going to be asking, Austin, it wasn't really you, was it? It really wasn't. He's been like, no, no, no. And there's going to be tensions in the vision for the next month, 6 weeks or so on the road to WrestleMania, keeping it interesting before Seth Rollins returns at Elimination Chamber, setting up CM Punk versus Bron Breakker versus Seth Rollins, a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship, because yes, that's right, I think Roman Reigns is going to choose Cody Rhodes. I think Drew McIntyre, Jake Fatu, and Cody Rhodes will have a three-way at the Royal Rumble, and the winner of that match will be Cody Rhodes, and at that point, we will then have Roman Reigns challenging Cody Rhodes. I think they're going to try and trick us over the next month or so with with Roman versus Punk. But I think eventually we are going to go in those two directions. And I know people don't want to see Cody versus Roman again, but I think business-wise for a Las Vegas WrestleMania, which is a little bit struggling to move tickets, that is the right move. Too massive, 2 nights main events. But the fact of the matter is Roman Reigns has won the Royal Rumble, Clark. What do you think about it, and where do we go from here?
Well, so they got a lot of things right on this men's Rumble, and they got a lot of things right in the women's Rumble. These were 2 very, very good Rumble matches, and I enjoyed both thoroughly. As you mentioned, Obafemi, delightful. The pyro, all of it. Guess who else got pyro? Fatu, who you mentioned in that triple threat scenario. But I have a bone to pick here. I've got a bone to pick here, because we watched AJ Styles and Gunther, and it had a very similar finish to Saturday night's main event, John Cena and Gunther, except they did it the right way, where AJ Styles faded. Now we have a masked figure who we're all guessing about, and watch this. This time, they're going to do it the right way. But it's an instant replay. It should have been Seth Rollins at Survivor Series. It should have never even been revealed till now. Why is it the same gag ran back? Are you kidding me? Like, what? Why is it okay? Do I need to be airplane spoon-fed? Like, my intelligence is, I'm there. Now, here's the deal. Here's the deal, though. The rest of it, they got absolutely right. The rest of it, they got absolutely right. And Roman Reigns was the rightful winner. The Final Four was fun. Obafemi's elimination run was fun. This was as good a men's Rumble as you could pretty much ask for, especially on a night like this. It's a little bit stained by the AJ Styles match.
Clark, I'm going to be honest. I'm really disappointed in you right now, right? Because you are a great writer. You are great when it comes to creative ideas and all that. This required Austin Theory being unmasked to actually work. This required that, because now the entire point of this story is we've got a month until Seth Rollins probably returns, and now suddenly we've got 4 weeks of really compelling TV, because Breakker's going to be thinking, is it Theory or is it Rollins? Who knows? Because you did that angle before, it required that angle for this to be this effective. It's genius, and it's one of the only good things they've done recently when it comes to it.
It would not work as effectively
Yes.
if there's no reveal. We see no more sign of the hooded figure until this moment.
Yes, because it would have been too obvious. It's Seth Rollins. Now there's a dilemma. The
He's
longer
hurt,
we left
though.
it, the more
We know
obvious
he's
it would have
hurt.
been that it's Seth.
I don't know. I think it's
Yes,
close.
because we're like,
but
well,
it
he's gonna be
is
cleared
just
soon, so they're obviously waiting.
But it's back to just the sick, like run it back, run it back, run it back, run it back, run it back.
No, this is
Every
good.
time.
I'm going to praise this for once because I've been absolutely torching creative or lack thereof in recent months. This was genuinely really creative. This was thought out. Kobe Galanzowski, the head of reviewing here at Wrestling Republic, said, "We are so back" when this happened. And I do have to agree with him.
Now, I'll say this. Okay. If the reveal's really great, I'm all for it. I find it also interesting that Drew's involved in the Cody elimination. There's a couple little things.
That's the chamber.
Like,
we're doing that triple threat match at the
of course
chamber.
it is.
Basically, let me say this. I think the reason why it's not obvious it's Roman Cody is I think they are very concerned about fans hijacking that match if they give it to us too early, and it makes it feel too obvious. So I think they're going to now tease Roman Punk. My voice broke then. Roman Punk, and then also at the same time teasing Cody, Drew, and Jacob Fatu. They'll do that triple threat match at the chamber, and then they'll do the title change there, and there's going to be lots of twists and turns, and I like that on a road to WrestleMania. I like the title changes. I like the change of direction. I like the unpredictability, even if in the end we do get to a predictable outcome, because the fact is people now don't think it's Roman and Cody again, so it's worked. We got Tyler who thinks we'll have a few different matches: Rollins, Breaker, Punk, Reigns, Drew versus Cody versus Jacob, and Lesnar, Femi. A lot of great shouts there as well. And it was Adam Pearce who stomped on Breaker. That would be a wild card, but I would love it. And yes, the Saudi crowd went crazy for Oba, Trick, and Jay Vaughn. It was fantastic. And Alex thinks that Balor attacked Breaker. A great shout. But Des, I want to know your shout. What were your thoughts on this match, and where could it go?
All right, so I just want to say, first of all, I had Braun Breaker in the final two, and he got eliminated in like 1 minute. So I got to say, it wasn't looking too good at the start, but I love the way they do it because, like you mentioned, Ben, I agree. I think Austin Theory needs to be part of this because then everybody is just going to be like, oh, yeah, it's Seth Rollins no matter what. But then adding the intrigue of Austin Theory being there, and now you don't really know who's it going to be. So now it's like, all right, do I trust Theory? Do I not trust Theory? It's in a way kind of like how Sami was in the Bloodline when him and Jay were like butting heads. So it's kind of like going through that story. I thought that was interesting. I love the idea of Obafemi too. I mean, that guy's a monster, man. Like, he really is like the next version of Brock Lesnar. When Brock Lesnar came into the scene in WWE, when he was a rookie, he took the WWE by storm. We're seeing the same thing here with Obafemi. And like Alex mentioned, that's going to be the Mania match. And I honestly hope that is a Mania match. And Roman winning it, I agree. I think Roman Cody is the plan. I do think that if they announce it too early, fans are going to be kind of like on the wall about the idea because, like I mentioned, WrestleMania 40 was such a good ending that sometimes you don't really need a trilogy. I mean, when Stone Cold and The Rock had their trilogy, right? Stone Cold was up 2-0, so it almost like didn't feel like they needed that trilogy, but they made it work. So maybe that could happen here with Cody and Roman. But I thought this was a really good Rumble. For a split second, I thought Gunther was going to win there. And honestly, I thought that would have been insane. I feel like we would have been looking at Roman Reigns in 2015 with the amount of heat that he got after he won that Rumble. But yeah, this was a really strong Rumble.
I mean, that's a really interesting point about Brock Lesnar and Obafemi, because you are right, Des. That was seemingly what they teased. Here is the thing about it, though. I think a lot of people were going into this WrestleMania with a presumption it was either going to be Gunther Styles or Gunther Lesnar. Right. So, look, both of those are now seemingly off the table. So the question is, what are we going to do with Gunther? Now, one option is, of course, he eliminated Randy Orton. Maybe we're not going to see Gunther retire Brock Lesnar first. Maybe we're actually going to do Legend Killer versus Legend Killer at WrestleMania, Clark.
I would adore that, but I'm terrified of it because of what I saw today. Yeah. So like I like the idea of it, but if we're gonna run that one, he better
He's gonna have to do a retirement match. You're right, yeah.
No, and then Randy. The only way that one can finish where I would be comfortable is if Randy just goes, you know what, forget it, and punts him. Just like, I'm not retiring yet. I'm not done yet. If he goes full Wolf of Wall Street and just busts out the punt finally, like we tried to build for Kevin Owens, and would have been delightful when we finally got it. That would have been the pop of the century. The one guy that's got two moves that can move a crowd, just like if he hits a punt or an RKO, everybody's losing their mind. If he punts Gunther, he punts Gunther out of his own retirement, I'd be comfortable with that. I don't think it's in the
I
cards,
wouldn't
though.
be.
I don't think
Here's
it's
the
in the
thing,
cards, though.
I
That's
think
what I
they've
mean.
messed up quite badly here, actually, the more I think about this. Because Gunther retired AJ Styles. Sorry, retired John Cena. And at that point, he should, I think, won the Royal Rumble. But clearly they wanted to do this AJ Styles storyline. So then he retires AJ Styles. If he now goes on to WrestleMania and loses, this should be the year he wins the big one. He wins the big championship or something, right? To
No, I
really
know, this
establish
was
him as the
fantasy
now.
world.
It all feels like
I'm
a
still
bit
just mad
delusion.
about it.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean,
And
Plus, the
now
secret
you act
attacker
like-
too.
oh,
We're not
Like,
even
Fatu
mentioning
got attacked.
Goldberg. That Stephen A.
True, I
Smith
don't think
rated him as
anybody cared
his
about
greatest of all
Goldberg, really.
time.
But
I
Fatu
mean,
got
That guy
attacked.
has a family.
You know what I mean? Like we have to find out what's going on with Fatu.
Oh,
so
that's
why
true.
I don't think Randy's
It's
going
all
to be in the
done, Fatu.
conversation.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So I agree. I don't know what's going on with Gunther. So that's what's intriguing about it.
Maybe this. Maybe it'll actually be genuinely. No. I mean, maybe it will be Gunther Lesnar, but not a retirement match. And then they do the retirement match being over Femi Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam next year in Minneapolis when he does retire. But then why are you teasing it this early? I don't know. I mean, Gunther, his road to WrestleMania seems very, very unclear. And I don't know if I care. Which is I think,
Really?
the saddest
I think it's
part.
intriguing.
To be completely honest, coming out of the Rumble, that is like one of the most fascinating things you've said, Ben.
I don't. Could they just
like
do
I
the
have
same
less
thing with him
stock.
and they've killed his
I have
momentum.
I have less stock in Gunther than I did before because not only is he not really a threat for either world title, I mean, I don't want to say go away heat, but we could end up in that territory if we just keep doing stuff
And
like
he
this.
deserves better than that because he's
And
an
he's a
incredible,
better
incredible
wrestler
talent.
than that because he was amazing in every
He's
role
amazing
he's
in
been
everything he
asked.
does.
Every
Yeah.
role he's been asked to play. But
Brings
it's
the
like,
best out of every opponent.
man, I would love to see a little bit better for Gunther here because direction-wise, headed to Mania, it is bleak.
I mean, we got to wrap up the show. We got a comment here from Tyler saying, "Seems Gunther might be stuck in no man's land. I only see Orton or Ray or something. I thought Lesnar versus Gunther before the match, but nothing happened. So that's why I think Lesnar versus Femi now." I know
Retire
can
Ray,
live.
I wouldn't hate, but I don't think Ray's
I
ready.
would. That should be Dom. Oh, what are they doing? Because you might
It
be
could
right,
be Gunther
Tyler.
and Dom. That could happen.
No. I mean, I think it should
No.
be Dom who retires Ray.
You think we get
So
Oh
I-
yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
Oh, they're in trouble. What have they done? I don't know. But I'm
Finn
excited.
Balor?
There's a lot of
I'm
options here.
exactly. I'm excited.
Who's he getting next?
I
It might be
I'll
Ben or
wait and see.
Clark. Who knows? We might be. Oh, it might be me. Who
Goldberg
knows?
Gunther.
I've worked
We
it
gotta-
out, guys. I've worked it out.
He's squashing Dez.
WrestleMania,
No.
Gunther, Chris Jericho retirement match. That's when we're going to see Chris Jericho debut.
That's
That's
could
going to be the
happen.
match. It's a one-match deal.
Oh,
That's why there's no
goodness
plans for Gunther.
goodness
That
gracious.
could happen.
And then he's going to retire Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. And then he's going to go on to next year's WrestleMania, Randy Orton, Legend Killer versus Legend Killer. Absolutely brilliant. Well done, WWE. You've managed to ruin Gunther. That does, guys, bring us to the end of the show. Thank you, Clark. Thank you, Des. We will see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place, every single day. That's the beauty of Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. See you then. Ba 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 ba.